What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now, in the last episode of Breaking Bad, we left off seeing Skyler apparently taking up more of Walt's habits. As we see, she basically was telling Marie, about how Hank's wife, about how they basically had the money needed to help with his therapy and different series of events that Walter had to go through to get that money, lose it, and basically earn it back. So now it seems like in some ways Skyler is not opposed of using that money to help out someone that she obviously cares about. And in some ways, that does make it a pretty noble cause. But at the same time, in some ways, it kind of shows how much of a crooked side she kind of has herself, as she is also willing to basically lie to cheat the system if it benefits her in some ways. And also we got a little bit more insight on Walt basically calling out Gus and how he was aware now, how Walter's basically now aware of how he was probably the prime suspect of those twins that were originally gonna hunt him, but then instead was led to Hank. So now Walter has pretty much raised his suspicion on that, and he pretty much knows now that he was a primary target in that situation. So in many ways, he's looking out for his family to make sure that not only he has safety, but them as well. And what else? Oh yeah, also Jesse and his friends are some very bad influences. Literally. Going up into basically a therapy session area and persuade other people to buy the meth that they've been making. So yeah, this is definitely going to be an interesting watch right here. This next episode, which is episode episode 10 of season 3, and it's called Fly. So that's definitely an interesting name for an episode. I'm wondering what it's going to be about. I kind of have a feeling maybe it could be like maybe like a metaphor or something of like a fly on the wall, somebody's being watched and all that. Maybe it's like some kind of a situation where they start bugging places and maybe they try to peek in on conversations and all that. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump right on into this next episode. And away we go. Yo, man. Don't tell me this episode is actually about a fly literally getting on his nerves. Oh, you gonna use your hand? That's unpleasant. Oh, man. Oh my God. This man is this. If the cancer doesn't take him out, he's gonna end up taking his own self out, because at this point, this man is just asking to mess himself beyond repair. Oh man, this man really just spent a whole night trying to kill Fly.
Fly saver.
I'm about to say just. Yo, nah. Oh man.
Meds so she wasn't stressing all the time. was a lot better. And she was a lot happier.
Well, Jesse just went on a whole traumatic life story.
I've been to my oncologist, Jesse. Just last week. I'm still in remission. I'm healthy. It was some perfect moment, and it passed me right by. I had to have enough to leave them. That was the whole point. None of this makes any sense if I didn't have enough.
I see what Walt's talking about. He expected himself to pass on, thus leaving the money behind for his family and them having a good memory of him, but instead he lived past his moment he thought he was expecting, and now Skylar, she divorced him, and this just went bad for him ever since, pretty much. Is he gonna accidentally slip up and tell Jesse? This is a huge thing right here if he tells him.
It's me who's having a drink with him.
That's an interesting way of putting it,
Couldn't that be random?
Oh, yeah, them pills taking effect now.
And Skylar and Holly were in another room. She was singing a lullaby.
I like how both Jesse and Walter basically telling their family dramas to one another.
And not 1 second more.
I see. That's the moment he wished that he could have went on ahead and passed on, because everything afterwards has been complete bad for him. Gotta be quick, but most importantly, you gotta be precise. Did he get him? Oh, did he get him? Oh, no, man. This episode is something different. he out. All right. Oh, man, this episode is something different. Like, they spent the whole episode basically trying to take out this fly. Man. This episode is something different, man. Oh, that's it. Oh, wow, man. We really spent a whole episode trying to kill a fly. Oh, man. Breaking Bad is something different, man. It's something different. That's all I can say. I cannot believe. Hold on, man. How long was this episode? This episode was about like 48. It was about like 48 minutes. So we pretty much I spent 48 minutes rooting for Walter and Jesse to try to take out a fly. You know what? I applaud this show because it really does a good job of just bringing a lot of different just bringing different conflicts and situations and all that. It's not just a linear, they got to cook the meth and then they got to escape the cops, the DEA, all that. It's not just the linear storyline. That is one of the majorest parts, but it's not the only part that matters the most. Like, they could easily take a simple situation such as this with the fly and have it dedicated to where it shows us Walter's mental state at the moment. Walter at the moment is not right in the head. He ain't getting enough sleep. He is contemplating his life choices up to this moment. He expected himself to basically expire somewhere between when he first got the cancer to when he made that boatload of money that basically ended up going into a bag of his. So like it pretty much showcased Walt's own mental state of how he's feeling about everything that he's done up to this point, because he's been doing some pretty bad things, you know, from starting to be a cook in meth, as well as every now and then doing the job of distributing it and getting the money and everything. But at the same time, we're also seeing how he massively regretted how a lot of the things have gone for him in his family life, because, you know, obviously currently at the moment he's divorced with Skylar, and he can't really see his kids as long as he wants to and all that. And he would have absolutely loved, I ain't gonna lie, that was probably the best part of the episode, when both him and Jesse were basically talking about their own family drama, life dramas that were going on and all that. The part that I definitely found the best and all that was definitely when Walter talked about how he wished that moment when him, his wife, and his daughter were all in that room together and everything, talking about her and all that. You know, that was the part that truly let us know how Walt was feeling in that moment. Like he felt like that was the perfect time for him to finally pass over and everything. But as he stated, you know, he lived a little bit too long, longer than he initially thought he would. And you know, like I said, you know, obviously with Jesse telling his little story about the possum, and then how his, I forgot, what did he say, that was his aunt or something. But you know, the other person that he knew that had her cancer and all that, like, you know, we basically just got the whole family story of what they've both gone through and all that. And then, you know, we also got a little bit more on the girl Jesse was dating as well, who was an addict and all that. And then Walter basically contemplating about how fate works, or the universe, or whatever it is he refers to it as, you know, just how it's no accident that the things that happen around them happen. They happen for a reason, and they're not accidental. And, you know, just the situations that they end up in, you know, it could come down to a lot of things. It can come down to the choices you make, or maybe potentially even just, it could just be pure coincidence maybe. But at the end of the day, it just depends on how you interpretate it. You know, it could be just a pure accidental moment, or a pure moment that was actually on purpose. But either way, this, you know, this episode obviously being the majorest thing about them trying to take care of that fly, you know, when, you know, it felt like a complete victory when they finally took it down. Like, oh man, they Jesse finally took down this fly, something that Walt was failing to do. And we see how at the end, where it didn't matter taking down that fly, Walt's still gonna deal with another one. So no matter how perfect he tries to make things, you know, there's always gonna still be some kind of wrinkle in that piece of clothing that you can't seem to just iron or straighten out. That's basically how I see it. But anyways, you know, this is another great episode. You know, this is a major heavily Jesse and Walt focused episode. Like, we literally didn't get no other characters in this. Like, it was literally just those two plus a couple of the background characters doing their usuals and everything. But yeah, I ain't gonna lie, like I said, you know, it was another great episode, obviously. And I, you know, as always, looking to get back on here to watch more. But, you know, make sure you like the video, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.